Hello, welcome to the video. I'm just going to be talking about the controller that I've set up with the avatar state for the AI and basically where the AI is at this point in time, coming up to the alpha handing, which is in about 2 weeks, which I'm aiming for to have a basic combat system and an AI going around. Well, as you can see at the moment, we have this box. This box is a lovely box. This box is our AI. So we click on the AI, we're going to go straight to the AI holder one. You'll see I've got a bunch of others. These are all just test ones, the ones that I've got thrown in to just see how it reacts and also how they develop and all that kind of thing. So under the AI holder you have the avatar, which is the actual model itself. And underneath the model itself, parent to that, we have this cube, which is its face. We have an AI aggro range, which is basically, this will add the player or any players in the area to an array, and it will randomly pick what an enemy to go after, well, in its eyes, a player to go after. Now, what this allows me to do is that I can actually manage a proper aggro script. You'll see to the right. At the moment, I don't have this since I'm one player, but when I go around to setting up the Unity UNet tutorials and looking through that, which I had a look at, I'll start seeing I'm managing aggro. So I'll record how much damage the AI is taken from a particular player, whether a player is healing, and basically set up a logic system, probably using state machines, or basically just seeing what target it should definitely go after, and that will differ depending on the AI itself. And the last part is called the weapon hold target. And basically this is where the weapons, because they don't exist at the moment, they only exist when I start the game, will spawn. Now, for example, if I just press play, you'll see one should pop in right there. Oops. Right there we go. So it's at the moment it's a melee. So we go to the avatar, you see it's a melee unit, and it's using a sword, and it's using Falchion 01. Probably not pronouncing that right, but hey. So basically, I'll go over this quickly. I've created a custom inspector element, which allows a user who isn't me and one who isn't necessarily the most fluent with code to create an AI without me being around. Trying to take a more of a game designer approach to it. So if we quickly have a quick look, so at the moment you noticed that the AI wasn't moving. That's because I simply have an on-off switch, and when it's ticked, the AI can't move. That's basically for testing purposes. I'll be keep using it for a while to make sure that the right weapons spawn in the right place. Prior to this video, I had a malfunction in the previous recording where the second sword spawned at quite an awkward place, and that was just a matter of the transforms and the actual prefabs were a bit wrong. So basically, we're focused on the melee, the weapons part first. So we have the AI type, so we have melee and ranged, and within that, the custom editor goes, okay, so you're in that. Now, what weapons can this AI use? And at the moment, it's simply a sword. There's a tester thing, but that's just an empty game object for me to double check that the enum could take 2 or 3, and we'll show it to the player and be able to test it and actually select it. But for now, we'll keep it on sword. So you just saw the Falchion 01, which wasn't this one, and basically it spawns it at the weapon target position and goes and then hands all that elements throughout to the stat script, and then the stat script is then accessed by anything that needs it. So it's this little island of knowledge within the code that the AI has access to at any point. So we see here it's the chipped one, so that's Falchion 01. We didn't really have time to get a whole sword set up for this video. One of my one of my character modelers, Mia, is actually creating another sword type, which will definitely show the change. But we just jump back to the other sword quickly, and you'll see it appear. It doesn't have any notches in it. It's just a different sword. It's just a quick tester. Now we'll pop onto the range, and I'll show you the same thing again. This time we have a staff, because that was what was modelled. And we're going to go for bell staff, just the first one. And you'll see it appear. I'll zoom out a bit so you can see it's quite a nice model. The normals aren't reversed yet, but that's not a big deal. So there you go. That's the staff. But to double check, I made another staff, which is just, you're going to see it's very different. It really stands out. It's Bell Staff 01, but as you can see, it might be bright red, but it does exactly what we need it to. So that's great. But what we need to do is actually, show you how it works. So these range variables will only appear when you're actually in range mode, and melee and passive, vice versa. Basically to make it a lot easier to see what's going on, because otherwise this actual control script basically takes it up from where it is now all the way up to the mesh renderer, and it's just very, very messy. The stats can be assigned on play, so at the moment if there's 0, the script will actually look at it and go, oh, well, if it's not filled in, I'll fill it with the default value. So basically it can't be broken by a player. So we'll just pop back out of that, and I'll throw in a value to show, say that was 100, so let's set it up to 500. It's a pretty beefy little AI. So we throw it in, and yeah, look, smack bang up to 100, 500 even. I can count. That's great. But what you will notice is I also decided, hey, what if the person who's playing around this doesn't actually add in an AI aggro range? Well, say that's goodbye aggro range. Well, it won't work without it, will it? So the script actually checks from this and will add one in. There you go, right there. Smack bang into it and be like, all right, you've forgotten to put one in. We'll look after it. Now I also need to set that up for the weapon hold target, but for now that's kind of I'm the only one touching the AI for basically the next 2 weeks. So at the end of those 2 weeks, I'll make sure the weapon hold target's set up, everything's ready and working, so someone can come in straight and smack bang into it. But at the moment, it's pretty much there. Now I have a quick overview. The idle type, which is basically between none and patrol. So none means it will just stand still, it's just going to sit there, have a nice jolly little chat with itself. And patrol means it will move between 2 or 3 or 4 points, as dictated in the idle script. Right, here. Now, the reason I've kind of left it like this is, to be honest, at the moment, for the alpha, I don't need it to be any more in depth. But this does allow me at a later date to go, maybe I can add a patrol path where it generates its own patrol paths. Maybe I want an idle state where it goes and looks for tasks around to do in a trigger boxes, and when it enters one, it will start hammering away. Basically, it allows me to have the same idle script for a non-player character that isn't an enemy, as well as the enemy non-player characters. But what you're probably wondering is, how does the combat work? Well, what I'll do is I'll spin this chap round so it's a bit easier to do it, and we'll jump straight into we'll put none on so he's not walking back and forth and getting in the way, and we'll pop into like the melee. So he should see us at some point. Here we go, and he'll run straight up to us and he'll start swinging his sword. I will admit these animations are pretty amazing, but a lot of the development for this will come at a later date when my animator is finished getting the animations ready, because let's be honest, while this is entertaining, it's not probably the best gameplay. But basically, it's how an melee works. It will chase you, it will start hitting you, and when you get enough distance away, it will fall out and try and chase you down again. At the moment, I do drop basically a game object or a transform reference right below where the AI first sees you. And if you get out of sight, which I haven't, and get away from the AI to a chase distance and escape the sight, and so it cannot see you, and it's a certain distance away from where it first saw you, it will then back off to there. I will be initializing, and basically every time it loses sight of you, it will plop a point on top of itself, or where you just were seen, and we'll use that to search around for you. But at the moment, it's not really needed. We just need to get on to doing the combat. And the second part I'll show you is the ranged. So at the moment, the speed is 700. I just need to play around with how the variables work. But you'll see from the start, it actually aims up and down. At the moment, it's firing a bit. It's a bit wonky. I still need to set it up properly. But see, it's a bit too far down, and he's a bit buggy here. It's getting there. I feel like it's just a matter of moving around the weapon target, making sure it's in the middle, because I'm off the centre. At the moment, it's firing off to the right. But to be honest, at the moment, this is utterly fine, because when the AI has animations, the staff itself will be at directly the middle point of the AI when it fires, so it will go straight smack bang through the middle. But as you can see, it does aim up and down, which is quite a handy little thing. Though, to be honest, I don't really know what it's doing there. I'll just play around with the weapon placement, I think. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been going on. Everything else is just a matter of add scripts on. It does this, that. You may have noticed that the clones just keep going. I haven't got rid of those yet, but hey. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I hope it maybe helped. And if you've got any questions, let me know.